All right, pack your bags. Everybody's leaving Denver. Should you be next? Let's talk about why people are leaving Denver for other areas of the country and other areas of the state. Let's go. Well, this is cool, huh? Like a fireside chat. Wish I had someone to talk to. I'm Tim Kampmann, Realtor for the Denver metro area, including all of the amazing suburbs around. Thank you for joining me on the channel. Please give it a like and a subscribe if you find this video helpful. And as always, if you need real estate help around the Denver metro area, I would love to be a resource for you. Whether you're moving into Denver or you're moving out of Denver, we got you covered and we will make your move a success. All right, guys, so you may have seen a recent story of people migrating out of Denver, that we're losing people by the droves. People are fleeing Denver. It's political oppression, it's homelessness, it's crime. Well, let's break down what it really is, what the facts, data, and what the people that are leaving told us their reasons for leaving were, so you guys have the best information on whether Denver is the right place for you or not. The three reasons people gave for leaving Denver in the last year, 2022, was family, job-related moves, or retirement. So let's focus on those three things, and let's cut through some of the noise and the hype that's out there. In 2022, we actually lost 12,000 families net. So 12,000 households more moved out of Colorado than moved into Colorado. Now, this is normal to happen when you have been on a tear of extreme growth over the last decade. So from 2012 till the current time, we have seen exponential growth in the Denver metro area and Colorado as a whole. We have had so many more people moving here every single year than moving out that it was only natural that eventually you get to the time where more people decide to leave, whether that be cost of living, affordability issues, or the things that I mentioned, job, family, or retirement. So let's start with job. Now, Denver has become a more expensive place to live, no doubt. Housing inventory and lack of has made house affordability go through the roof and has resulted in a lot of people deciding that, hey, Colorado is just too expensive of a place to live. So when you break down the income earners and who is leaving and who is coming in, we did see that people making from $0 to $75,000 annually left the state at a higher rate than people making more than that. People making $100,000 to $150,000 plus, we saw more people that were in that income bracket move into the state than leave the state. Economic diversity of the Denver metro area, it is very strong. Now, we do need to find an option for people that are not making $100,000 a year so they can still have a portion of the American dream. But if you're making that much and you see the home that you can afford in a place like the Midwest or Texas or maybe Nebraska or Kansas, you see that you can afford actually a lot more house on that type of salary versus what you can afford in the Denver metro area. Now, one plus in the Denver metro area is our median household income is significantly higher than the rest of the country. Right now it's sitting at about $77,000, $78,000 a year, median household income, versus the national average being around $65,000, $66,000 a year. Who is moving out? So we talked about the people that have job relocations. There's also a factor of people that moved into the Denver metro area during COVID, when you could have a work from home scenario where you could work almost remotely, maybe anywhere in the country. Some of those companies have pulled in the reins and are no longer allowing that. Some of those companies are asking people to come back to the traditional office, whether that be their headquarters, if that's on the East Coast or the Southeast. Some people have had to relocate for those reasons as well. Jobs, relocations for jobs, and affordability issues have made an impact on some of the people that are moving out of the state. Now, a lot more people that we see leaving the state are natives of Colorado or people that have moved here in the 70s, 80s, and even early 90s. So when they moved into Denver, it was a much different landscape and a much different environment than it is currently. So when you moved into Denver, let's say in the 80s, I am a Denver native, so growing up in the 80s and 90s here, it was a significantly different town. And if you were to go out to a place like Castle Rock or Parker, Franktown or Elizabeth, those areas felt like you might as well have been in Kansas. It was so far away from the Denver metro area. But as Denver has grown in such popularity and we have expanded across the metro area, those suburbs have filled up like nobody's business. Those areas that were once rural and more of a, pit stops along a freeway like Castle Rock used to be, have grown into significant little towns of 70,000 to 100,000 residents. Days of Denver being a dusty old cow town and more of a country feel and having, limited to no traffic whatsoever, it has significantly changed to a urban metropolis where there is a lot more traffic, a lot more of people and congestion around, and just a big shift in the cultural landscape of the Denver metro area. So it's not for everyone. A lot of those people have chosen to move on to places like Wyoming or maybe Montana, where it's a little bit smaller town feel, slower pace of life, and that's fantastic. If that works for you better than the thing that Denver has grown into and become, hey, by all means, we want to make sure you find a place that is right for you. But a lot of the people moving in to the Denver metro area are coming from big cities like California, Los Angeles, San Diego, areas of Dallas and Houston, and the state of Texas. And so as a result, the city has grown and has become a lot more culturally diverse over the last 10 years. 2010, 2011, 2012, we saw a huge influx of millennials coming to the Denver metro area and buying homes because housing was significantly more affordable then. You could get a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, single-family residence for under $300,000 in a lot of areas around the Denver metro. You could even find single-family homes in the $200,000 range. Now, that is a far cry from where we are today. You are hard-pressed to even find condos under $250,000. So affordability has become an issue, and as a result of that, a lot of millennials that may have moved in 2010 and started their family and have 1 or 2 kids have chosen to move back to live with family now. Let's say you were a young couple, you moved here in 2010, you love the Denver scene, love the Denver lifestyle, active, but now you have 2 or 3 kids and you need help with childcare. Childcare is very expensive. Families have decided to move back to be closer to their grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins for reasons of childcare and just to build a better bond with their family. So not a bad reason to move at all. Talked about jobs, we talked about family. Now let's hit on retirement. I do see a lot of people leaving the Denver metro area because of retirement. Denver is not a retirement destination for most people, and that's important to remember. Denver has a lot of, unstable weather patterns. Now, we're not getting tornadoes or hurricanes or anything like that. Tornadoes are very rare to happen here, although it can be possible. But we do have winters where we get a significant amount of snow. Getting into your golden years, you don't want to spend your time out in the snow, shoveling, clearing off the driveway, and slipping on ice. So they are looking for something that's warmer, more stable climate, something that they don't have to endure the cold, harsh winters of the January and February months here in the Denver area. How does this affect the real estate market? Well, a lot of those retirees that are moving out are actually not selling their homes, or they may be selling one home here to buy a townhome or a condo to keep a foothold here, to stay close to their family, and to enjoy Colorado in the summer months. So they are purchasing homes in places like Tucson or the Panhandle of Florida. These retirees are not actually leaving the state in about 50% of the cases, so they're still holding on to real estate here, and they are not giving up any housing. Another thing to remember, that Colorado is not a tier 1 migration state. So when you are thinking globally, people around the world, when they are making the move to the US, you have people that come in through the border states, whether that be Canada or Mexico, but you have people coming in from Asia, Europe, and different places around the world. They are traditionally flying into places like San Francisco, New York City, Washington, D.C., and Florida. So they are coming into those areas. They may just settle right there. They may find jobs, employment, and housing in those areas and not take the second migration to a place like Colorado. So important to remember that we might not get as many immigrant coming in from places like that around the world because we are a second-tier migration state. What are your guys' thoughts? Do you think more people are going to move here over the next 5 to 10 years, and what will it do to real estate prices? I can tell you that since Denver has become such a popular area, and it is such a wonderful place to live, that a lot of people are still going to choose to live here, so I see real estate prices staying stable for for the time being. I don't see a great migration out of the Denver metro area to other states. Now, I do see more people leaving some of that urban area of Denver. They just want a more suburban feel, more of a maybe small town charm. So they are leaving some of the urban areas around the downtown area and exploring more options outside of Denver, whether that be areas to the north like Thornton and Erie and Dacono, or maybe they're coming down south to towns like Parker and Castle Rock and Monument. There are a lot of options so that you can still enjoy the great Colorado lifestyle and maybe get a little bit more home for your money in one of those great suburbs around Denver. Thank you guys for watching. Leave your comments below, please. Subscribe to the channel. And as always, when you are thinking of a move out here in the Denver metro area, hit me up at the information on the screen. I would love to help you make your move to the Denver area a success.